Support for the 5th Annual Minnesota Private and Independent Education Awards is made possible by the following: Adolphson and Peterson Construction, API Group Incorporated, Bait Design Group LLC, Boulay, Hootmaker, Zeibel and Company, Certified Public Accountants and Consultants, the Capella Education Company, Egan, Roger Fazenden Realtors, Frauenschuh, Great River Energy, a Touchstone Energy Cooperative, Hamlin University, Kemp's, Life Touch, Lyman Doran, Mayors and Power Investment Council, MAP Mission Advancement, Minnesota's Private Colleges, Northwestern College in St. Paul, Premier Banks, RBC Wealth Management, Smart Tuition, St. Mary's University of Minnesota, the University of St. Thomas, Accel Energy. Individual donors include Ann and Greg Anklum, Bob Chandler, Jane and Mark Chronister, and Molly and Bill Park.
welcome everybody, and we'd like people to take their seats now so we can start the program. And if you need to get up and stroll around to get some more food, feel free to do that. We're all family here. We really appreciate you coming. Let me just say, my name is Jim Field, the president of MISF. This is my favorite day of the year because we get to show the state all the good things all the teachers and all the kids and all the schools in Minnesota, all 484 private schools in the state do for the state of Minnesota. May I propose a big hand for the Benilde St. Margaret Orchestra that played for us. I played drums in a high school orchestra, and we were never close to that. Also, a special thanks to the Junior ROTC from Cretin-Durham Hall that helped us get through the parking lots and get here. Let's see, I got to figure out what I'm doing here. And now, please stand for a welcome for the Cretin-Durham to honor us with the colors. And Russell Smith, come up to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now we'd like to have Father Malone, who's head of mission for St. Thomas, the University of St. Thomas, to bless the evening.
Thank you very much. On behalf of Father Deese, President of the University of St. Thomas, really do welcome you. We share so much in our mission and our common goal of educating and giving people the very best opportunities to make the best of their lives and the best of other people's lives. Today in the Christian calendar, 40 days after Easter, is Ascension Thursday, which we now celebrate on Sunday. It's very confusing, but if we were following the traditional 40 days, it would be today. And so for a prayer, I thought I would begin it by just reading that beautiful short gospel reading from St. Matthew. He concludes his gospel with these words: "The 11 disciples made their way to Galilee, to the mountain to which Jesus had summoned them. At the sight of him, those who had entertained doubts fell down in homage. Jesus came forward and addressed them in these words: 'Full authority has been given to me both in heaven and on earth. Go therefore and make disciples of all nations. Teach them to carry out everything I have commanded you, and know that I am with you always until the end of the world.'" Let us pray. O God, whose Son, Jesus Christ, left these final words to his followers: go teach. Bless all those who follow that today, who teach others, to support others, who make this world a more loving place. Bless all who are engaged in education. May we do for others what God has already done for us. This prayer we make in the powerful name of God forever and ever. Amen. And a very warm welcome again. It's much warmer welcome than the weather, so keep that in mind.
Thank you, Father. Please be seated. Well, we'll get the evening started, and thanks again for everybody for being here and for all the support that you give us in our tough job, a wonderful job of supporting private schools in Minnesota. We are thrilled to welcome a very special individual this evening who will be serving as our Master of Ceremonies, Mr. Bob Stromberg. Bob is a truly humble and funny man, and he has a unique story to tell us his connection with private schools. From his home in St. Paul, Bob started all over the world performing and has been a featured and favorite MC for many large stadium and arena gatherings. He is the co-author of one of the original stars of the mega hit theatrical comedy Triple Espresso, which has been seen by almost 2 million people from San Diego to the West End of London. The Chicago Sun-Times calls Bob a mesmerizing physical comedian. The London Times called him a genuinely funny man, and so he is. Please help me give a warm welcome for Bob Stromberg.
I'm just realizing my mic isn't working here. So it is on. It is on. So yeah. All right. Well, we'll get her going. So. Any Triple Espresso people seen Triple Espresso here? Oh, that's fantastic. Maybe I should ask how many people have not seen Triple Espresso. Anybody? Really? Really? Are you from this area? Yeah. It's hard squeezing in that narrow 15-year window that we gave you there. I know, to do that. All right, this mic will come. There we go. Almost. I'll stay over here. I'm delighted to be the Master of Ceremonies here tonight for this 5th annual Minnesota Private and Independent Education Awards celebration. Now, this is a great event. 5 years ago, there were just a few tables for this event, and now we have over 300 people here tonight. So thank you so very much for coming and making this what it is. Many sponsors that we would like to thank. In fact, we would like each of you at your table now to come to the podium and share about your company and your work and your administration. Obviously, we do not have time for that tonight, so I would just point your attention to page 26 in your, you don't have to look there now if you don't want to, but the sponsors are listed there. They'll also be listed streaming up here at times during our program tonight, and also the ads in your program tonight too for our sponsors. We appreciate them so much. And particularly Lee Anderson, who was unable to be with us here tonight, but Lee, who's been a great supporter of this event and this work. And also, as you may know, Lee was instrumental in the creation of this entire complex of which we are a part right now. So thank you to Lee. Maybe we could just do this. If you are one of our valued sponsors here tonight, or if you are with the on the board of directors or the cabinet or the awards selection, the Blue Ribbon Selection Committee. If you are, what else can I add here? The Awards Planning Committee, the STEM Advisory Committee, or if you're affiliated with one of the organizations supporting the STEM, that's going to be pretty much all of us. But why don't you stand up where you are right now so we can applaud for you? Would you do that? Stand up, and we'll thank you for tonight. So. Thank you so much. And now I have the distinct privilege of introducing you to a man who I just met. So I can't honestly say that I know this man, but I have spoken to people who know him, who say that he is a man of great integrity. He is a real guy who has really sought in his own life to discover what it means to live. And he has written about that, and I believe he's going to share something, am I right about that? Something about that with us tonight and about what he has written. And I'm going to introduce him the way he's been introduced since he was a small boy, because he's the great-grandson of a U.S. president, which I'm guessing very few of us can say that. How many of you here are great-grandchildren of presidents? So, okay, just 6. So, but we are really pleased to have the great-grandson of the 27th president of the United States. History teachers, who are we talking about? You don't know. You have no idea. So, yeah. That would be, let me make sure I got the first one. William Howard Taft. And would you welcome to our stage John Taft?
All right, well, we seem to be dealing with a funky mic, so if you don't mind, I'm just going to, can you hear me in the back there if I project? I think that would be better. Well, thank you, Bob, and I want to start out by, on behalf of Greg Anklem, who's our complex director here in St. Paul of RBC Wealth Management, and Kevin Kettleslager, our complex manager in Minneapolis, I want to tell you how pleased we are to be, for the second year in a row, the premier sponsor of tonight's event. We've obviously had a role for decades, really, with this organization and with this event. We think it's a fantastic thing for us to be supporting and admire what you do. I'm glad you mentioned my family heritage. I've been asked to speak about leadership for a few minutes. I'm going to invoke my family heritage as my credentials for talking about leadership. Actually, my family's legacy, which I had nothing to do with, started one generation before William Howard Taft. His father, Alfonso Taft, was Secretary of War. And William Howard Taft is known for various things, including the 7th inning stretch, bringing the cherry blossoms to Washington, D.C., and being the largest president. I was actually on Piers Morgan on President's Day talking about that subject. He wanted to know, is it true that President Taft got stuck in the White House bathtub? I had to tell him that's not a true story. He was very disappointed that I had robbed his audience of one of the great stories in American history. But it's not true that William Howard Taft got stuck, but he did have large bathtubs fashioned. Anyway, William Howard Taft actually was a public servant, a leader for 30 years. He was governor of the Philippines in the early 1900s and put that territory, a protectorate at the time, on a path towards being a modern nation. He was then Theodore Roosevelt's Secretary of War, then President of the United States, then went to be a constitutional law scholar at Yale, then the only president, as you may know, to be Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. His son, Robert Alfonso Taft, my grandfather, was Mr. Republican, Mr. Integrity. There's a chapter on him in John F. Kennedy's book, Profiles in Courage. He's the only member of U.S. Congress, so the only member of the House or the U.S. Senate to have a memorial built in his honor on the grounds of the U.S. Capitol. It is a 10-story bell tower, statue, reflecting pool, and he was known for feeling strongly about it, so strongly about his core principle, equal justice under law, that he literally sacrificed his political career in the service of that ideal. And his son, my uncle, Robert Taft, was senator from Ohio. His other son, my uncle, William Taft, was ambassador to Ireland. His other son, my father, was the dean of Yale University. My cousin was the governor of Ohio, and so forth and so forth. And I come to work every day and say, what have I done for you? The thing about family legacies, give them their due, but put them to the side. The reason I moved to Minnesota 30 years ago is, as far as I knew, no Tafts lived here. I just the other thing I've done, besides having an interesting family legacy, is I've spent much of my life around private schools. I was a student at the Taft School, another interesting family legacy. One of the leading prep schools, independent prep schools in the East Coast, was founded by the president's brother. And I was on the board of Breck School, where my children attended for 21 years, and was the president of the Breck School for a number of years. The motto of, and so I believe passionately, and I'm now a member of the board of directors of the Taft School, or the board of trustees, and I believe passionately in what independent schools do for our country and for our society. At the Taft School, the motto of the Taft School is to serve, not to be served. The unfortunate thing about the motto is it's written in Latin, and for adolescent teenage boys, it's a subject of a lot of derision. When I was there, I didn't give it the respect it was due, but now, 40 years later, having done everything I've done, lived a full life, had my own children, I look back on that motto and I can say that it is tremendously, has been influential in my life. And getting back to the theme of leadership, I probably believed then, but I didn't know it. I believe now that leadership is all about service. In fact, leadership is literally the choice for service. The best leaders, the most effective leaders, in my experience, literally think of themselves as servants, as serving their constituents. Whether you're elected to public office, or you serve on a board, or you lead the faculty, or you're a community leader, you hold, as a leader, an office. And you have a responsibility to serve your constituents. There's a great writer and thinker, a guy named Robert Greenleaf, who came up with a whole topic or idea or paradigm of servant leadership. Leadership at its best is all about serving. Now, I wrote a book, as Bob mentioned, a year ago. I published it about the core principle of stewardship. Stewardship and servant leadership are two sides of the same coin. I wrote the book because in my industry, the financial services industry, we witnessed the results of what I think was a failure of leadership, a failure in stewardship. And we saw how that played out in the financial crisis of 2008 and 2009, which affected tens of millions, hundreds of millions of people around the world in a negative way, affected the financial condition of organizations like independent and private schools. And the reason I wrote the book was I wanted to look at what caused that failure in stewardship, that failure in leadership, and then tease out of that lessons that could be applied to other areas of social endeavor. Because if you think about it, the financial crisis was really sort of Charles Dickens' Ghost of Christmas Past. We can look at it, we can see what happened, we can learn lessons from it. But right now in front of us, we see the same thing playing out in the public financial crisis in governments in Europe and the United States, where our elected leaders know what everybody in this room knows, and that is we have made promises to our constituents that can't be supported at current levels of revenue. You know it, they know it, but what we're witnessing is a failure in stewardship, a failure in leadership, the consequences of which, if unaddressed, will be even more severe than those of the financial crisis of several years ago. And then, Ghost of Christmas Future, pick your ghost. Climate change. Population growth coupled with resource scarcity. Income inequality. These are all future, present, past train wrecks in slow motion caused by, in my opinion, and solvable with responsible leadership, effective leadership. If we all think of ourselves as leaders, as stewards, if we all think about what we do every day, whether it's in our personal lives, our professional lives, in our communities, in terms of leaving the world a better place than we found it. If we think of what we do, teaching students, leading schools, in terms of serving others, if we think of who we are as members of a community, then we can do what you all want to do, and that is lead us to a better future than we have today. Thank you very much for listening to me tonight.
Thank you, John. I think that you people are John's kind of people. I really do. And I appreciate that so much about you. When my wife and I lived in Chicago in moved there in 1990, and we were living in the city, and I was flying in out of O'Hare every week, and my kids were in the city schools there. And I know a lot of kids go to city schools and do just fine, but Judy and I were thinking, we only get one shot with these kids. That's it. And it's in the next 6 or 8 years, and they're gone. And our opportunity is gone to do what we think might be the very best that we can do for our kids. And so we decided to move to Minnesota so that we could send our kids to a school where I had spoken and had been really impressed with, which was Minnehaha Academy. So we moved here in 1992 for one reason. We didn't even know anybody in Minnesota. We moved so that we could send our kids to one of your schools because we recognize what kind of people you are and what you do every day and what you sacrifice to do every day. So thank you so much for that. Even as I talk about this, looking back, it makes me feel old to say, am I on now? Am I there now? I think I am. Am I? Yeah, it makes me feel I am, and some of you are. As I don't have to point you out. Yeah, Yeah. I know I'm getting older because I had my 50-year checkup a few years. Actually, it's been over a decade ago now. Just out of interest, how many of you have been through that hilarity yourselves? Come on, let's see. How many of you have been through that 50-year checkup? All right, so. The rest of you know that's when the normal healthy person has their first exposure to the whole concept of the colonoscopy. If I could just break that down for you as you finish your desserts. Colon, that's the last 5 or 6 feet of the large intestine. And oscopy, which as many of you know is a Latin word, literally translated it means garden hose with camcorder. My doctor described for me what I would be enduring, and honest to goodness, because I'd never heard of such a thing before. I feel foolish about that now, all the research and then the colon cancer stuff and all that, but I'd never heard of it. My first response was, you are going to put me out for this, aren't you? I don't know how I feel about his bedside manner. My doctor actually laughed in my face. He said, no, Bob, you can watch the whole thing if you want. I said, no, I don't think I'm that flexible. Then to make it worse, I had to drink 3 big plastic bottles of this stuff the night before, meant to cleanse my digestive system. And I don't know how you felt about that, ma'am, but I found that stuff to be really effective. 3 a.m., I'm in my favorite place, and my wife came in with the empty plastic bottle. She said, you did dilute this stuff, didn't you? I said, that would explain it. Cleanse my digestive system that I lost computer files that night. So. Then to make it worse, before I went to the hospital, the instruction sheet said, be sure to drink 3,800 milliliters of water. So I'm from Minnesota, not Manitoba. I have no idea I've never sold drugs. I don't know what a milliliter is. So I'm in my kitchen at 3 a.m. For my 6 a.m. procedure with a bowl and a measuring cup and a ruler trying to figure out how many milliliters are in an inch. I have no idea. Well, think about it. It's 3.8 liters, right? I mean, obviously, math people, is 3.8 liters, which is a half a cup short of a gallon of water, I might add, which I've never had that much water at one drinking in my life. I got to the hospital, the nurse said, how are you feeling? I said, well, not so great. I just drank a gallon of water. Can you tell me why that was necessary? She said, well, we're going to do a urinalysis. We need to make sure we have an adequate sample. How much do you need? She said, you need to fill up that little plastic cup. From here? I hope so, because otherwise this won't even be a challenge. And then you know what? It was condescending, I thought, and frankly, she went over and she got the cup and she brought it to me, which was just disappointing because I was pretty sure I could have done it. You know, the whole point is it made me feel old. And also it made me feel old because the doctor was maybe 15. So. Fortunately, he didn't come by himself. His girlfriend came along. They had their earbuds in the whole time. I didn't mind, though, because they gave me that sedative. Oh, my goodness. There must be somebody from close to the medical field who knows the name of that stuff. What was that called? Versed. Who said that? That's what it is, Versed. That was I always forget the name. I know the generic name is sure. I don't mind. Go ahead, do whatever you want. So, and that stuff that got me wondering what general anesthesia must be like, because I've never experienced that. Or if I have. My buddy Mark, I played basketball with my two sons for years. I mean, all through their high school and college. Well, grade school, all the way through college. And then about 10 years ago, they got bigger and stronger and faster, and they were hurting me. And I realized they're going to do something. I'm going to do something bad, and I won't be able to get on planes and do my work anymore. So I just said, I'm done. I'll play horse. That's it. I'm done with anything else. But my buddy kept playing, and this last winter he popped his Achilles tendon. Do you know what happens when you pop an Achilles tendon? Do you know what? It rolls right up the back. They found it up behind his shoulder blade. So they had him on a gurney. They're rolling him down the hall for the operation. They're going to grab it, roll it back down, attach it back up again. And he said he saw one little drip of anesthesia going to his hand, and he thought to himself, what if I'm one of those people it doesn't work on? And in a panic, he sat right up on the bed, looked the surgeon right in the eye and said, this stuff better work. And the surgeon said, well, I think it did because we're all done. So I was talking to President Jim Field, who is a wonderful guy, and I said, Jim, I've not done your banquet before, and I know this is a big deal for you every year, and it's your favorite time. I don't want to ruin that for you. So help me out here. What do you see me doing? Can you jot me a few notes or something? And he said, sure, I'd be happy to do that. And he did, and he gave it to me about 2 minutes ago. And it's fine. Just 3 things here. Tell us a little bit about yourself, which I already did, so that's good. We always like to develop a sense of community and family, which is right in my sweet spot, so that's good. And, I can see it, I can't read it, so place no copies. That's what it says. Place no coal copy store. Place no coal copy store. I'm not getting it, Jim. Place no coal copy store. So we'll do that. Please no colonoscopy stories. Got it. So let's move on. STEM, that stands for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. MISF launched its Science and Mathematics Initiative during the 2005 and 2006 school year to help strengthen and enhance the teaching of STEM subjects. And then the program really transformed in 2009 with the introduction of the mini grants. Mini grants are intended to support development of new curriculum in STEM subjects for hands-on teaching and also for teacher professional development necessary in implementing the curriculum. Over the past 3 years, MISF has awarded more than $276,000 to 51 of our schools. At last year's celebration, MISF presented STEM mini grant awards to 21 schools, totaling more than $106,000 in grants. And we would like to show you a video of some of those programs now.
Highlights of the 2013 STEM program include the following. Students, teachers, parents, and community members together built an outdoor learning and nature center at Calvin Christian School in Edina as a place to encourage the students to become citizen scientists and stewards of the environment. The Outdoor Learning Center features a wildlife habitat and pond. In this space, K-8 students engage in inquiry-based science projects and learn to follow research protocols. The garden gives students the opportunity to conduct research, to work cooperatively, and to take responsibility for caring for the environment, along with sharing their experiences with the community. In Minnehaha Academy in Minneapolis, Sam Turfa incorporated LEGO Mindstorms robotics into several units of his 9th grade physics course in order to develop and apply concepts in an engaging and relevant manner, and to encourage student interest in STEM-related fields. Student teams use the robots and Vernier sensors to discover what quantities are measurable, what variables affect the values of those quantities, and in what way. They ask their own questions and gather data involving motion, forces, energy, and electricity. Like real-world engineers, students at St. Croix Catholic School are learning how to follow the engineering design process with age-appropriate challenges. Students studied a variety of mechanical gears and then designed tools to assist the elderly with their everyday tasks. 4th and 5th graders at St. Michael's Lakeside School in Duluth built 65 birdhouses as part of their STEM project focusing on bird migration and conservation. The students made birdhouses for 7 different species: bluebird, robin, tree swallow, house wren, screech owl, wood duck, and flicker, a member of the woodpecker family. The students were able to incorporate elements of both science and engineering by planning and building the birdhouses. Students in grades 5 through 8 at Pilgrim Lutheran School have been learning the art of time-lapse photography. Their final work will be displayed at National Camera Exchange in Burnsville. Students will also create presentations to communicate the value of the project and to demonstrate learning to both the Pilgrim School family and the King Field community in South Minneapolis.
Tonight we're excited to announce the recipients of this year's STEM mini grants, which will provide funding for projects that will be implemented during the 2013 and 14 school year. This year we received applications totaling nearly $184,000. The STEM Advisory Committee met April 26th and selected the schools, and we're going to announce them now. First, I would like to introduce you to an individual who has been very helpful in providing significant support to MISF and its STEM program. We're honored to welcome Dr. Sumita Mitra, a retired chemist from 3M. Sumita sits on MISF's STEM Advisory Committee and is active in the American Chemical Society. She's also a partner in Mitra Chemical Consulting, LLC, and she'll be presenting this year's STEM mini grants. Would you welcome to the stage Dr. Sumita Mitra. So I will read the school's name, and I also will read the project, and we'll just ask that you hold your applause till the very end. First, Benilde St. Margaret's, St. Louis Park, Forensic Science Course. Bethany Academy, Bloomington. It's more than a toy, it's a machine. Bethlehem Academy, Faribault, Watershed Analysis and Clean Water Project. Okay. Christ Community Lutheran School, Watertown, Elementary Lego Robotics. Community Christian School, Wilmer, Connections Classes. Holy Spirit Catholic School, St. Paul, Expanding Life Science. Maranatha Christian Academy, Brooklyn Park, Plants and Worms. What a beautiful, messy relationship. Martin Luther High School, Northrop, Excited Science Learning via Modeling Method. Mayer Lutheran High School, Mayer, It's Not Easy Being Green, Food Waste Recycling and Vermiculture. Minnehaha Academy, Minneapolis, International Space Station Applied Research Project. St. Croix Catholic School, Stillwater, St. Croix Sensory Robots. St. Elizabeth Ann Seton School, Hastings, Monarch Butterfly and Songbird Habitat. St. Paul Preparatory School, St. Paul, launch of Introduction to Aviation course. School of St. Philip, Litchfield, STEM through Educational Legos. Southwest Christian High School, Chaska, Creek Watershed Evaluation. Southwest Minnesota Christian High School, Edgerton, Soils, Slope, and Erosion. Totino Grace High School, Fridley, Vernier Probeware Labs. And West Lutheran High School, Plymouth, a watershed network. Now you may applaud all of these mini-grant recipients. I became aware of this organization 4 years ago, and I think when they award these grants, I think it's fair the way they decide who gets them. But I've applied for 4 years in a row and not received any grants in several categories, which is the reason I agreed to do this this evening, to be a part of this, because I have the mic. And so I'm able to explain my project and demonstrate my project for you tonight. Mine is called Entertainment at the Intersection of Light and Fingers. You may applaud now, if you like so. And sir, would you help me with this? Would you mind? Hop right up here. So, yeah, hop right up, yeah. And tell me your name. Bob Mulder from Calvin Christian School. So yeah, say hello to Bob, everybody. Bob actually had no part of working on this project with me, but he's going to help tonight. Bob, do you have a watch on by any chance? If you could just put that in your pocket, that'd be great. And maybe roll up your left sleeve. That would be good, too. So, all right. We're sort of on a time schedule. All right, so Bob, here's what I'm going to do. In a few minutes, I'm going to put my arms like this, okay? And then you don't need to do it, though. I'll do that part. And then, Bob, I would like to ask you just to give me your left hand, just your left hand, and I'd like you to put your left hand on my elbow when I say, okay, Bob. I want you to put your left hand like that, right there, okay? Right there, right there, yeah. Then, Bob, I want you to do several things 4 times. Here's the first one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go ahead.
3, 4.
Good. And then you can hold the finger up like this, and you can lift your hand off, and I want you to put the end of your finger right between these 2 of my knuckles. Do you see which ones? And I want you to go 1, 2, 3, 4, just like that. Go ahead.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Good. And if it helps to count out loud, that's fine. You don't have to do it, but you may. All right. Back here. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the last thing, Bob, you can hold your finger like this 1/2 inch away from my thumb, right here, right? And then I will pinch it. And when I pinch it, I want you to pull your arm way back here, okay? All right. So, Bob, I would like to rehearse this one time because I'm not feeling real confident. All right? So, I'll say, okay, Bob. Okay. And then the BB. 1/2 inch away. I'll pinch and you pull. Perfect. Good. Okay, Bob. So, thank you. Wasn't that good? All right. No, Bob, you can stand right here. That's your spot. All right. Now, listen, you guys on these end tables over here, you're going to have trouble seeing this, okay? But it's not my fault. If I'd won this award, they would have set the tables up differently, all right? So you 2 tables right there, and you can stand right up, all right, if you can't see, and you won't be able to. So, and you can move where you can see, all right? So, and the same thing over here. So if you don't stand up and move, I will know, and so will everybody else, that you're really not all that involved in what we're doing here tonight. So, all right? All right. And I'm going to go away from the microphone now, and I'm going to be projecting loudly so you can hear me in the back, okay? Because I'm a professional. So, can we have the lights down, please?
So, could we have all the lights down, please? Is that possible? And Bob and I are going to use the screen. And this once again is entitled The Intersection of Light and Finger. Now, Bob, remember your cue is okay, Bob. Until that time, you need to stay over where I put you. When I was a child, I slept every night in the room by my father's study, where the light from the hall shone on the wall and gave life to my shadowed buddy. A play in 3 acts, written by Big Bobby Stromberg. And 7, entitled The Rabbit and the Hound, Act 1. All right, this will be the rabbit. Dad, can you open up the door? Just a little bit more, please. My father's shadow would loom on the side of the room, exceeding his normal size. Almost pleading, he'd say, I don't mind if you play. No more horsing around with those guys. Here? Pushing around. Come on, Dad. Son, I'm talking to you.
I think they're going to be disappointed. Rabbit and the Hound, Act 2.
Intersection of light and finger. A loser once again this year. I was asking for like $20. I need a new flashlight. That's about it. I know what you're thinking about me about this point in the program. There's a man with way too much free time on his hand. So, now we move into the presentation of the Story Awards, and then into the introduction of the 8 honor teacher winners. 4 in the areas of K to 8 and 4 in the 9 through 12. This evening we'll begin with the Story Awards, and then I'll introduce to you the 8 Honor Teacher Award finalists, and we'll be showing a video clip this year of each so that you can, we hope you enjoy that. You can get a real feel for who these people, who they are. Our first award this evening is the Against All Odds Award. This award recognizes the sacrifices made by students and families in attending a private or independent school. And it also illustrates the progress or success of a student or a faculty member or a school who is facing a particularly difficult and challenging circumstance. This year's award highlights the challenges faced by one of our member schools, and we can learn about that in the video right now.
The Whole Learning School, TWLS, is a small, independent, nonprofit school specifically for students ages 7 to 18 with special learning needs. Their mission is simple: provide a nurturing educational environment for these students to learn and grow. TWLS is the only Minnesota school either accredited by or applying for accreditation by the National Center for Accreditation of Special Education Systems. Its students take leadership roles in class, drama, and music, student council and yearbook, often reserved for the overachievers in other schools. This unique school of 17 students definitely exists against all odds. Just 1 year ago, the school's major funder reduced its funding by almost 95%. The head of school retired, and most of the staff went too. The budget was managed on a do we have enough for payroll this month basis. The school was on the very brink of closing, but against all odds, a group of dedicated parents was determined to save it. Just 6 months ago, a brand new head of school was hired. A whole new teaching and administrative staff was brought in, and the entire school was packed in the back of a truck sitting at the curb of their new building with only 14 days until the start of a new school year. And amazingly today, this is how things look. 3 classrooms are set up, complete with a small library. Each student has a computer. Online curriculum is used to teach students at their own achievement levels. And there is an occupational therapy-based exercise program to start each day. And a full hot lunch program is provided. The school already has new donors and is planning a benefit for the spring. The work that had to be done during the past year would have been overwhelming and nearly impossible by any reasonable person, but the families, staff, and board of TWLS have exhibited an extraordinary resilience and determination. Solely based on the fact that they exist today, the whole learning school has definitely earned and clearly illustrates the meaning of this year's Against All Odds award.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you help me welcome to the stage the winner of this year's Against All Odds award, the head of school for the whole learning school, Wyan Rasmussen.
Thank you very much. I would like to take the opportunity to introduce to you our autism specialist, Sarah Blum, who 1 month from today will become Sarah Fitzgerald. Sarah?
Thank you. Thank you, Wyan, and thank you so much to the Minnesota Independent School Forum. We are so thankful for this award. It means so much. We bridge the gap for students with learning differences, such as autism, intellectual disabilities, learning disabilities, attention disorders, and many, many more things. I think for you to fully understand our school, I can tell you quickly about one of our students. The first day of school, he came in and laid on the floor and screamed how he did not want to learn. The second day of school, he came in and laid on the floor and screamed how he didn't want to learn. By about the end of the first month of school, he would talk to me and tell me his name. And just today, he and I had a half-hour-long conversation about how he could control his emotions and how he is excited to be at school and ready to learn every day. Our school is so empowering for these students. We couldn't be here without the parent support, without the wonderful teachers, and without the exceptional leadership that we have. So against all odds, all of our students are learning and growing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Wyan. Thank you, Sarah, very much. Our next award is the Behind the Scenes Award, which recognizes the quiet and essential work of individuals who work behind the scenes. These are truly humble servants who give every day to make their schools caring and friendly and welcoming places to learn. Let's watch this video.
Along with being married for 16 years, having 3 daughters, 7 brothers, 6 sisters-in-law, 15 nieces and nephews, and 11 great-nieces and nephews, Sheila is a super volunteer at Trinity School in Belle Plaine. She spends one day each week running the school's library, making sure that staff birthdays are remembered, helping children put on coats and boots, and keeping the principal on his toes. And if this isn't enough, she does so much more. Several years ago, Sheila took it upon herself to coordinate and oversee an annual silent auction to support the school. She and her team met with area businesses and supporters of the school and created an enjoyable, fun, themed event that is now highly anticipated year after year. Through Sheila's efforts, Trinity School has added up-to-date technology such as a rolling lab of networks and interactive whiteboards throughout the school, and has upgraded its facilities with a full makeover of the ladies' restroom and significant upgrades to the school's kitchen. A few years ago, Sheila was concerned because the school wasn't able to offer a hot lunch program, so she started one from scratch. Sheila also demonstrates her concern by having easy-to-prepare foods on hand for any child who forgets a lunch. She makes sure that no child is left hungry. Trinity Lutheran School means the world to my family and me, states Sheila. I am so thankful for the wonderful Christian education that my children are receiving, and the staff is just amazing. So I just do my part to show my thanks to everyone who is guiding and teaching my children. It's so important to go above and beyond and help others whenever possible, and that's what I try to teach my own children. Working in the library, running a silent auction, and operating a hot lunch program adds so much value to Trinity School. However, the best gift Sheila gives is being a mom to each student and a friend to each of the staff. No one is a better advocate for Trinity School than Sheila. She touches the hearts and lives of all. Sheila Vinkemeyer is truly a behind-the-scenes blessing.
This year's recipient of the Behind the Scenes Award, welcome to the stage, Sheila Vinkemeyer.
Thank you so much. I am so honored to be here. Thank you, Mr. Whitney, for nominating me. He is the leader of our school and such an amazing man. And thank you, my family and friends. I have a whole group back there that came with to support me today. And I love our school. I'm so thankful that my children have a Christian education. And I have 4 children. There's a little boy, too, that wasn't mentioned. But there's, I'm just so thankful for our school. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Sheila. Our next story award is the Community Champion Award. Those of you who are teachers and administrators out there, you know who your community champions are. They are a group of people in your school who give tirelessly of their talent and their gifts and their time to reach out to make a lasting difference in your school and in your community. Let's watch this video.
Every summer for more than 25 years, Mayer Lutheran High School hosts its annual summer sale to raise funds for special projects at the school. This event is a rummage sale that has raised more than $250,000 in its existence and continues to serve the Mayer community, reaching beyond a radius of 25 miles. For the majority of the past 25 years, the event has been led by 2 volunteers, Bonnie Stockman and Barbara Herneman. They tirelessly lead an army of volunteers to gather donations of used clothes, furniture, tools, and household goods that are sold to raise money for MLHS, and also to serve the community as a place to purchase needed items at very low prices. Not only does the 3-day event provide a place to find bargains, but the leftover clothing and shoes are donated to ministries around the world. The event is a success because of the faithful work of a myriad of volunteers led by 2 extraordinary women who all have a passion for the school's mission of preparing the next generation of Christian leaders and for serving those who have needs beyond the walls of the school. Bonnie and Barbara often say, "We do this because the community needs it," and how true that is, which is why the summer sale was chosen as this year's Community Champion Award winner.
Our community champions, would you welcome to the stage Barbara Herneman and Bonnie Stockman.
We accept this award and honor with delight and humility, because I know there's a lot of you out there that are doing service in all different areas in all different ways. And it's just our privilege to be able to coordinate the volunteers that have come alongside us. And the sale has been going on for 43 years. And next month, we look forward to the 44th year. And we invite you to attend Mayor Lutheran High School if you would like that, as we carry out our mission of preparing the next generation of Christian leaders. Thank you.
And our final story award is the Academic Program Award. This award recognizes a innovative or successful program that supports engagement and academic achievement for school, for faculty, and for students. Watch this video of this remarkable program.
Greetings from the International Space Station to Minnehaha Academy in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I'm astronaut Tom Marshburn, sending congratulations to the 16 students on the ISS project team and to your 8 mentors for your experiment on polymers and microgravity. You are the first high school in the Midwest to have a student-designed science experiment aboard the International Space Station.
Polymers are chemical compounds used in plastics, adhesives, and paints. The Minnehaha experiment focuses on how polymers coalesce or set up in the low-gravity environment of the ISS. What the Minnehaha team learns from this experiment could impact how astronauts use adhesives and other polymer products to repair space equipment on long space missions. In addition to working independently, these dedicated students have had the opportunity to be mentored by professional engineers and scientists from the extended Minnehaha community. They've worked Friday nights and weekends and vacations to construct, program, and test this small but important experiment headed to space. Working as a team, they've overcome obstacles such as polymer leaks, underpowered motors, and oversized heaters. Their microlab experiment, the size of a chalkboard eraser, included a motor, heater, fan, thermometer, camera, and tube of polymer. It was sent to NASA, where it went through final testing before launching to the International Space Station March 1st from Cape Canaveral, Florida. It will spend about 2 months aboard the ISS, where astronauts will send data back to Earth several times a week. Once the experiment returns to Minnehaha in May, the ISS student team will use an electron microscope to compare how their polymer samples coalesced or set up in space compared to their Earthbound samples. Minnehaha Academy plans to expand the ISS project next year by including the program as an elective science course in applied research. Wow, talk about an outstanding academic program. Minnehaha Academy's International Space Station project is a fitting recipient for this year's program award.
Our Academic Program Award winner representatives from Minnehaha Academy Upper School Science. Would you welcome teachers Nancy Kripe and Sam Turfa.
We are very honored to accept this award on behalf of the 16 students of the International Space Station Project and their 6 community mentors who've been terrific, and we've had such wonderful support from the Minnehaha Academy administration, so thank you as well.
Thank you also to MISF for your support this year for next school year. We were very grateful. It was very tough starting up, and so it's going to be very nice to be a little bit more prepared for our next school year when we do this again. Thank you.
I applied for all these story awards this past year, and the one I was hoping would succeed, and you can't compete with astronauts. But my program is called The Preservation of Family History Through Photographic Imperfection, which, since this evening really is about me, I would like to present my program to you now. If I could have the first slide, please, Michelle. Hold your applause until the first slide. Things happen in outer space. You don't know why they happen, or do we have it? If we don't have it, we can. Okay. I saw a flash. Oh, there we go. Okay. All right. This is, so this once again is the preservation of family history through photographic imperfection. This is the home that I grew up in north central Pennsylvania. This is the home that I moved my parents out of just 5 years ago. This is the home that my parents lived in for 50 years, during which time they threw away nothing. Pulled up that right side garage door. My dad is overwhelmed with the job that we've just done. He said, "What do you want to do with these?" He's got a pile of slide carousels, 20 of them exactly, spanning 20 years of my life. That's 100 slides per carousel. That's about 2,000 slides in no particular order. I said, "Dad, put them in those boxes, send them to me in Minnesota. I will be the keeper of the slides. You're an old man. You don't need to worry about the family of our family slide, the legacy of our family slides anymore. I will take that job on." The truth is, I did not want them, because I remembered our family slideshows when I was a kid. We had them every 4 to 6 weeks. The same slides. We would develop 12 new pictures from the roll, then we'd have to watch 3 hours of slides. Once again, we had to wait till 10:30 at night in the summer to be dark enough to even see the slides in our living rooms. I felt many of our slides were not high quality. It seemed a lot of our slides were not well cared for. I would say, "Dad, honestly, why would you even keep a slide like that? Just throw it away." He'd say, "No, I like your mom in that little wedge up there. I think she looks pretty." 1,300 of our slides had a flame coming from one side or the other. Maybe some of you science teachers understand that. We sure didn't. The man who sold this camera to my mom and dad said, to my mom said, "Lucille, you're going to love this camera. You can hardly take a bad picture." Then he took the camera, pointed at my mom, and took the very first shot. Focus was sometimes a problem, but not for my dad. Honest, he would look at this slide, he would say, "I love that picture. Your Aunt Audrey looks so cute in that sailor outfit, don't you think? And your grandma in the middle, look at the smile on her face. She was happy. And Lucille, why don't you wear that orange pantsuit anymore? That looks so nice on you." This goes without saying. Again, it's my mom on the left there, the front porch, my teenage sister in the middle, and it's kind of embarrassing, but you can tell by the fashions on the right there, some relatives visiting from Sweden. Children of the digital age have no idea the fun they're missing out on. This is one my big sister called Winter Dreams. Another artsy composition of my mom and dad floating in the trees, over the bike, beside the car, in the road. Another of my big sister doing handstands in somebody's cross-country ski field. We're not sure whose that is.
This is my grandma and grandpa sitting on their couch in their living room there in Glacier National Park. I understand why you're laughing, but I actually get quite emotional every time I look at this picture, because it's the only one that I have of my grandpa bouncing me on his knee. Oh, and this is a triple. I can't prove it to you because you don't know the people in this photo, but I swear there are 3 couples in here who have never met. Oops, sorry, blank. The blanks would blind us. Our pupils would be this big, and the blanks would hit us in the dark room, and they would constrict, and we would shout, blank! We couldn't help it. Even the person controlling the projector we couldn't even push the button. Blank! Try it once, everybody. Blank! Your turn. And this is our favorite double. This is Niagara Falls and Myrtle Beach. It's a picture of me on the left. And to the right, the giant naked ghost baby. And that guardrail's in a handy place, don't you think? The funny thing is we have no idea who this little girl is. But she always got huge laughs in our family socials. Not for me, by the way. I didn't laugh, because frankly, I thought she was kind of creepy. She kept showing up in my slides. And she's not getting older, but she's getting bigger. Oh, and this is what happens when a slide gets too close to the projector bulb. It burns up. This is science I'm talking about here now, okay? Just so you know it fits in our program, okay? It burns right up. There's no film there. But we couldn't throw it away because my little sister was in this picture. If we had 2,000 slides, 2/3 were my sister. 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 For those of you under 50, that's a hair blower. I love this picture. I used this when she was 4 to convince her that when she was born, her foot was on backwards. So there was a progression to our slideshows. They went sister, focus, flaming, double, damaged. Ghost baby. Yeah, look close, she's in there. And those of you who think this is disgusting and indecent, well, I would agree, we're not even looking at the baby now, are we? So, yeah. Thanks, now you're just laughing at my family. How many of you remember Gary Larson from the Far Side comics? Gary Larson? I think he knew my people. Yeah. I can't be sure, but I look at this, I'm thinking Gary knew. Oh, and here's what I wanted you to see. Sunday morning, I was 14 years old, almost to the day. This is the day that my dad and I discovered that we were the same height. Special father-son moments. Also the morning we realized it was time for me to get a big boy tie. So there you go. That's family history preservation through photographic imperfection. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. You know, I didn't mind the slides when I did not mind the slides that were destroyed, that were burnt up, because that was a mechanical problem with the projector. I didn't mind the ones that were torn, because that was a projecting. I didn't mind the ones from the flame coming from one side, or I didn't mind the double exposures. All those were mechanical problems that we seem to have an inability for 20 years there to solve. The ones that drove me nuts, though, were the ones that were out of focus. Because I tried to imagine what could possibly have distracted my father so badly that he failed to do the one thing necessary to capture a family moment, and that was to focus the camera. So distracted.
But that's what happens to us. We get so distracted, we fail to focus on what's really important. But I thank you, and MISF thanks you for being here tonight and focusing on what is important. We're going to introduce now our honor teacher nominees. And to help with that, I would like to introduce you to, before I do that, I would like to introduce you to somebody who's been really instrumental in helping MISF for a long while and consistently. And her name is Rosa Miller, and Rosa is the Vice President, Latin America for 3M. She recently gave MISF the largest single personal gift ever in the history of MISF, and we are beyond grateful for her graciousness and her generosity. So, Rosa Miller, would you stand so we can recognize you, please? I think she knew that we were going to be recognizing her tonight, so she left. We appreciate it very much. Gave a remarkable gift to our organization, so we are grateful to her. Okay, we'll move into the climax of our evening, the Honor Teacher Award. This award recognizes one educator in grades K to 8 and one in grades 9 through 12 who model outstanding service to the students in the school. These educators are leaders who display a commitment to engaging and developing each student with whom they are entrusted. We begin by sharing the stories of this year's K to 8 finalists.
A fourth grade teacher at Calvin Christian School in Minneapolis, John Cruz, is an excellent teacher, mentor, and coach. He has high expectations for his students, and he guides them individually to reach higher levels of academic and social emotional achievements than they thought possible. John is able to see the unique gifts in every child. He helps them find their passion for learning and gives them the tools to never stop learning. John believes that students must be engaged and active with subject content. He is well-read on new teaching strategies and philosophies and has an excellent ability to differentiate curriculum to meet the wide variety of needs in a classroom. He has been a leader in using assessment data to inform his instruction. One unit that engages his students on multiple levels is a science unit on simple machines. The students interact through hands-on learning, working in collaborative groups to build a contraption out of everyday materials that will solve a challenge John gives them. The group demonstrates how their invention works, what simple machines it uses to achieve the goal, and shares what didn't work. Students bring their invention to school to share with the class, or they may video it at home to show the class on the big screen. John also incorporates service projects into his fourth grade classroom. He takes students and parents to Feed My Starving Children, to discover the needs in third world countries, learn about the importance of nutrition, and work together packaging bags of food that are sent to these countries. Students see the need to help those who are less fortunate, and they gain an invaluable opportunity to put that into practice. Jack Shields, principal at Calvin Christian School, says this about John: "If I hear the term all-star, I generally visualize someone who is tops in their field. John is definitely an all-star. He doesn't settle for doing the same thing over and over, but finds ways to help his students grow in their understanding and become lifelong learners. John is very humble, so he doesn't usually see what he does as anything special. However, our teachers, staff, and parents know he is amazing." When one visits Mary McHugh's classroom at St. Alphonsus Parish School in Brooklyn Center, they are bound to see students engaged in learning and having fun with music. Mary has a compassionate soul and creative teaching spirit that reaches all students, from the very young to those just discovering the English language, to middle school students who are too cool to sing, and to those who generally love music. Mary works patiently with each student to be sure they are learning to their fullest potential. She spends an enormous amount of time planning and developing lessons that highlight the standards of music. While some teachers may be afraid of change, Mary embraces it. She is constantly looking for new and innovative ways to teach her students to appreciate music. She brings lessons alive through the use of instruments such as guitars, drums, bells, piano, and ukuleles. When students leave the school, they not only meet the music standards expected of them, but they also have a new appreciation for music. The annual Christmas program is one example of the skills Mary brings to teaching. Each grade level performs, and the entire school population of 210 students sings a finale that can only be described as unbelievable. Mary uses 8th grade student directors, and their leadership, ownership, and overall positivity is incredible. After weeks of rehearsals, these directors set up the venue, coordinate the performance, and even participate in the concert. Mary gives so much to the school's music program. Last year, she and her husband won a monetary prize through the church's raffle and used it to buy a class set of ukuleles. Mary is also very compassionate about guitar playing. She charges a nominal fee for lessons and gives the money right back to the music program. Mary is also very active in the St. Alphonsus Parish. Along with her husband, they chair a food booth at the parish's annual Fun Fest, and when there is a need, the McHugh family steps up to help. Although I have only worked with Mary for the past few months, states Carrie Staples, the new principal at St. Alphonsus, I know a gem when I see one. It is through Mary's dedication that music becomes a way of life, not just a class in school. Always caring, kind, generous, and selfless, Gail Petroff treats her kindergarten through 4th grade students at Prince of Peace Academy in Mounds View as if they were her very own children, and she is excited to see them succeed every day. Despite having 5 separate grades in her classroom, her students consistently score high on Iowa tests. Gail's students don't just sit in a desk and listen to her lecture on the subject. She gets all the students engaged and makes learning fun. Rather than having 4th graders sink down to a lower level due to sharing a classroom with kindergartners, the younger children rise up to a higher level. Even after 30-plus years of teaching, Gail still constantly takes extra classes and attends seminars that will benefit her and her students. She goes out of her way to find programs, books, field trips, and anything that will enhance each child's learning. She was at a teachers' conference and stopped at a booth that had a fairly new reading and writing program. Although the small school of 18 students has very little money for extras, Gail believes so strongly in the program that she was able to get a majority of the program donated to the school. Gail will do anything for anyone at any time and never expects anything in return. She is not one to parade around looking for recognition. She is quietly involved in her church, visits the elderly shut-ins, has her students write heart-warmer letters to shut-ins and nursing home residents, and is a volunteer for Families Moving Forward, an organization that hosts homeless families and helps get them back on their feet. A parent of one of Gail's students said, "Gail is always so positive. It doesn't matter what she is teaching the students, she constantly has a giant smile on her face and does everything in such a loving, genuine way."
Greeting every student with an I love you each day is what first grade teacher Nancy Vanass does for her students at Good Shepherd School in Golden Valley. Nancy is a woman of great faith, dedication, and true spirituality. This is easily seen in her classroom through the way she conducts herself, the way she respects her students, and more importantly, the way her students respect her. In addition, there are many nights when the janitor leaves before Nancy does. Her colleagues confirm this when they say, Nancy truly has a passion for teaching. Each decision she makes is in the best interest of her students. My daughter has grown in her academics, her faith, and in her love for learning through Mrs. Vanass. As a result of Nancy's work, every first grader is able to read when they leave first grade. Several years ago, Nancy completed training and certification in the Orton-Gillingham methodology. She went on to design and implement her own reading curriculum, then assisted the second grade teachers who obtained their certification and implemented the curriculum in their own classrooms. To help motivate the students, Nancy uses a unique book report form that includes a 3-inch circle with the book's title, author's name, and student's name on it. The circles are taped to the walls to form a giant caterpillar. The caterpillar then meanders the school halls all the way to the principal's office. When the caterpillar makes its way back to the first grade room, the class wins a McDonald's picnic lunch at a local park. During an average year, it takes more than 4,000 books, or circles, to reach the principal's office and return to the first grade room. That's 4,000 books read by the 48 first graders from February 1st to May 31st. According to Tom Zelmer, principal at Good Shepherd, I have observed Nancy for over 21 years as a first grade teacher, and I commend her outstanding characteristics. Nancy displays a strong, caring concern for all her students. She is diligent, spiritual, enthusiastic, and a great role model for other teachers. I believe Nancy to be the very best teacher I have had the opportunity to work with in my 44 years in education.
So we will invite the 4 finalists to join us on stage, please. And Jim Field, if you'll join me as well. Let's come right up here. That's right. And Jim, I think you have an envelope for me. I'm hoping you do, right? Yeah. Is this the envelope? Okay. Go ahead. Okay, yes. So, Jim, if you would like to give out the awards to these people, and you can give them a hand, everybody. Thanks for your great work. All winners here tonight, of course, but our winner, honor teacher K-4 for 2013 is Nancy Vanass. Would you like to say something? Yeah, you may.
Oh man, and I'm supposed to say something now. Oh, I don't know where to begin. I guess I'm speechless. Oh, thank you. What an honor. What an... Sorry, I guess I just feel like I just do what I'm supposed to do. I have an incredible staff to work with, an incredible principal who believes in me and all of us as professionals. I can't thank you enough. I couldn't do it without all of you. So thank you very much for this organization and this award. Very appreciative, very humble. Thank you.
Thank you. And now, the honor teacher for grades 9 through 12.
Tom Backen is an English teacher who models integrity for 12th grade students at Benilde St. Margaret's School in St. Louis Park. BSM, Benilde St. Margaret's, is recognized for developing engaged, intelligent servant leaders, and Tom takes his partnership with students and parents seriously. For him, teaching English is more than an occupation. As a mentor to new BSM teachers and the chair of the English department, Tom encourages and inspires excellence and nurtures continuous improvement in his colleagues. He can also name former students who have inspired him to improve his own teaching style. Tom has a passion for literature, writing, film, and new technology. He brings that passion to his students. For example, students in his film studies course write film reviews and produce the reviews in podcasts. One of his AP literature projects requires students to analyze 3 works of an author and put the information into a detailed website with links and photos. Tom's advanced film students analyze screenplays, write original screenplays, study the narrative construction of films, and complete shot-by-shot analyses of film scenes. Tom and a fellow teacher are preparing to launch a new video journalism course that will combine the assets of the award-winning BSM student print and online newspaper and communication through film. Tom's projects are fun, but they aren't fluff. They are examples of the multiple intelligence approach to teaching that draws the most from all of his students. And Tom knows that measurement matters too. In 2012, the average AP English score for his students on a scale of 1 to 5 was 3.9, well above the national average. Since 2008, the percentages of students scoring 3 or higher have been in the high 90s to 100. I'm delighted to see Tom named an honor teacher finalist. He was my high school English teacher and speech and debate coach. With his help, I finished 3rd in extemporaneous speaking at the State Speech Championships in 1983. Mr. B was one of my greatest mentors. High school students with both academic and emotional needs look to Concordia Academy Roseville's resource program teacher, Diane Bisping, for help. Diane has compassion for the struggles of each student, and it shows most notably in her philosophy holding to the belief that struggles are strengths, not weaknesses. She never allows compromise, holding every student to standards as high as any other and helping them learn self-advocacy and character in their interactions in and out of school. Diane's job demands innovative thought. Every student in front of her has a different set of needs, both academically and emotionally, and she addresses each in a way that shows her true giftedness in creative thought. One notable project was a result of her interest in brain research and research-based strategies for learning environments. This came to fruition when she redesigned her classroom to be a place that is now called a haven. Every detail links to how it benefits student learning: color scheme, chairs, layout, wooden tables, and technology. The room was once a place where students were often embarrassed to be seen, but now it's a safe place that's familiar and special. Along with the academic benefit it provides, it gives purpose and worth to these students. Diane now teaches more than 40 students in all grades, with all different needs, and in all different classes. The success of her program is often seen through a student graduating and pursuing post-secondary plans. One student has been through multiple homes, abuse, and a lack of any adult support in her life. After several years in the program and hours of academic support and counsel, this student has matured into a woman who is writing essays that supersede the majority of her peers. She has gone on to take college courses while still in high school and was recently nominated for an academic award at Concordia's midterm honors convocation. In addition to her regular duties, Diane created 2 seminars for the general student body and parents. She has planned professional curriculum days on autism for schools in the entire metro area, and she has been a leader in the school among students, parents, and educators. Diane recently joined Concordia students working on a habitat house in St. Paul and became a host family to one of the school's international students this year. Diane has genuinely earned the respect of all those she's touched. Through tough love and hard words, she never wavers in her fight for what's best for the student.
Garland Gar Jasper is a man of many hats. He teaches junior high social studies, math, and high school industrial arts at Central Minnesota Christian School in Princeburg. For 4 decades, he has influenced students in many ways. Gar is a tremendous role model. He is fair in dealing with each student as an individual. He monitors progress to make sure they achieve success. He is always honest, yet tactful and sensitive. He never hesitates to confront when necessary, uses his great sense of humor to make such situations easier, and is a great Christian influence. Gar used the MISF STEM grant which the school received last year to completely revamp its computer-assisted drafting and industrial arts programs. He researched new CAD software, hardware, and support materials, completely renovating the CAD classroom. This has allowed students to learn and apply the latest techniques in order to gain the most valuable skills. CAD students now more effectively combine and apply their CAD and industrial arts learning and projects. Gar has put an extraordinary amount of time and effort into all of his classes by continually using the newest and most effective teaching methods and resources to maximize his students' learning and development as whole persons. Gar works to stay on top of educational changes by exploring new programs for CAD drafting and attending workshops and seminars to stay current with brain research and other areas of interest. Each year on Fine Arts Night, Gar's students display their woodworking and welding projects. Parents never fail to be amazed at the projects, which are produced in the CAD and industrial arts classrooms. Students design their projects in CAD and then build them in the industrial arts room, which becomes a buzzing beehive of positive, productive activity. Also on Fine Arts Night, Gar's history and geography students display their projects, which equally impress parents and visitors. Gar has always led by example. His attention to detail, his promptness, and his love and passion for the students has stood out as shining examples for his colleagues and students alike. One parent stated, "My son is now a first-year 4th grade teacher, largely due to the influence of Mr. Jasper. He uses many of the same stories and jokes that Mr. Jasper used with his class 10 years ago. My daughter is an education major as a first-year college student, again largely due to the influence of Mr. Jasper."
Charles Miller teaches a demanding physics course to students in grade 9 through 12 at St. John's Preparatory School, SJP, in Collegeville. Because of his compassion and ability to successfully support students of all learning levels, students often leave his class excited about science and their success, thus making his classroom a student favorite. The St. John's Prep Science Department uses a physics-first philosophy. Physics is taken in 9th grade, followed by chemistry and biology. 5 years ago, Charles researched and recommended the program for the school and was responsible for its design and implementation. The program has shown measurable increases in test scores and student science interest since it was first launched. Theory of Knowledge is a course that Charles teaches for the International Baccalaureate IB diploma students at St. John's Preparatory School. In Theory of Knowledge, he facilitates discussions in which students develop, explain, and defend systems of belief, faith knowledge, and other perspectives, helping students develop academically, personally, and spiritually. Charles's creative forces are noticeable in many ways throughout the year at St. John's Prep. For example, he created the Smartest Advising Challenge, an event that includes a scavenger hunt over the entire St. John's University campus, a written trivia round, and a live Knowledge Bowl style event. Students and faculty alike enjoy this event and look forward to it each year. The SJP Trivia Tournament is another invention Charles has implemented. Roughly 25% of the school's population takes part in the event, in which teams of 3 students compete against one another in a pop culture trivia tournament. Is it any wonder that Charles has found amazing success both in and outside his classroom?
Will our 9th through 12th grade honor teacher finalists join us on stage? Jim Field, will you join me up here with your awards? And the honor teacher, 9th through 12th grade for 2013 is Charles Miller.
I'm very humbled to get this award. Thank you very much. One of my favorite quotes attributed to Newton, but it's really one of my favorite metaphors in science, is if I've seen any further than others, it's because I've stood on the shoulders of giants. And so everything I've done as a teacher, I've pretty much stolen or at the very best asked to borrow. I've stolen time from my family, and I thank my wife for her broad shoulders that have helped me, and my colleagues every day give me great ideas from conversations. All of you, I'm sure, have helped out somebody else when they were looking for that next lesson or that idea. So all of you have been those shoulders that have helped me. And MISF has helped us through mini grants and through this program, which has already boosted me just a little higher so I can keep putting in the hours and doing the work. So thank you very much for this, and thank you all of you for helping me out as well.
That's Charles Miller, 9th through 12th grade Honor Thief Award for 2013. MISF, would you stand, everybody with MISF, would you stand for a thank you tonight? Is that? MISF staff. The staff, yeah. Did we see him? It looked to me like we have no staff, but yeah, we did. So thank you so much. Yeah, that's right. Thank you so much for attending the Minnesota Private and Independent Education Awards celebration. This event would not have been possible, obviously, without the support of our sponsors, the board of directors, our committee members, and each of you and your belief in and contributions to the Minnesota non-public education community, so we thank you. As a quick reminder, we'd ask all honorees, sponsors, and MISF staff, that would be 2 of you, 3 of you here tonight, so several of you, to join us up here for a group photo. Thank you again for attending. Please leave in an orderly fashion, no running in the hall out here, do you understand? God bless you, thank you for coming.